Hey guys, Palsteron here, and today let's talk about bulk selling. I just finished a sort of 4 to 5 day period where I didn't trade anything at all, and at the end of the day, I basically collected everything. I have everything in bulk. I have fossils in bulk. I have scarabs in bulk. We're gonna go through all of them and how to price them easily, how to look up what they're worth actually, so you don't get scammed. I want to first discuss a topic though that is more about why this is so important to make currency per hour. So what I want to go over in this first segment here is make you understand that getting the newest, flashiest Atlas guide is really, really cool and all. It's really, really nice to have new sorts to make currency, but you don't make the currency until you actually convert your stuff into actual chaos or exalts or whatever, because you cannot buy the item you want with 8 polished harbinger scarabs, but you can convert these into chaos and then buy the item that you want. And there we can already see an issue because there's actually time involved to trade these. What that means is there is sort of a skill involved in trading, which also means that the less time you need to actually sell stuff and the more you can be in maps, the more currency you will make per hour. So whereas an Atlas guide would be like a method to make currency per hour, this you can take this as exactly the same, just that bulk selling will be basically viable across the board because you will always need it, because this game has sort of a problem. Now, this problem is something that I coined the currency clutter problem, and I'm sure everybody knows what I'm talking about immediately. This game throws so much random currency at you, and it doesn't matter what you farm, you cannot target farm anything in this game. No matter what you want to do, no matter what Atlas strategy you're doing, you'll get thrown at by random scarabs, breach stuff, random fragments, fossils, essences, delirium orbs, all kinds of maps that you can't really sell in Unity or very, very hard. There's just so much random stuff, blight maps, this stuff. Like, what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? How can you actually sell this efficiently? And that is actually something that will make you currency per hour on its own. All right, but now let's talk about bulk selling, because if you have, for example, let's take the Screaming Essence of Scorn here. You have 9 of them. You don't want people to whisper you for 1. You don't want it to show up like you would sell 1. You want to sell all at once. So you want to price 9 for a certain amount of currency. So let's say that the Screaming Essence of Scorn is more than a chaos, and you price it in a way where you would want to sell 9 for 15 chaos. So how do we do this? First, we go into exact price here, and what you type in is first the amount of currency that you want to charge. So there's 2 things to this: the amount of currency and the amount of the product that you're selling. So for example, if you want to do 15 for 9, you have to do 15 for 9. Don't get confused about this number being next to the chaos orb here. The second number after the slash refers to the amount of currency you want to sell for this price here. So first price is chaos orb or whatever you put in here. And then secondly is the amount of currency you want to sell this for. So for example, now I clicked on this and now it says exact price 15 for 9 chaos, and that's exactly how it's going to show up on the trading website. Just for some more context, so you know how this actually will look like, how you will show up is if you, for example, go to Screaming Essence for chaos and I just put 9 in here, then you can see everybody who has 9 or more. And we're actually going to look at this, and this is me, Palsteron, and I'm paying 15 for 9. So there is no option for them to buy 1 from you. Now do note that if they are buying these essences like this, of Scorn, then they are not going to find your entry at all, because these are only singles, which is good for you, because this means that they can't just whisper you for 1, and only people who actually want 9 or more are going to buy from you. Something I also want to stress is that the trading API in this game is global. And what I mean by that is that, for example, let's say you have 75 Screaming Essences of Greed, and then this is the 76th one, and I do this, for example. So as I just showed you, this means that you're trading 76 chaos from somebody else for your 76 essences, which is this one, which you priced. And it doesn't have to be all in the same tab. You do not have to do this here. This does not have to be in the same tab. All you have to do is make this one public. You don't have to price anything here if you don't want to. You can do it in a different window and just put 1 here. just to point that out real quickly. Now you can basically do this in any of the specialized tabs. For example, Essence, you can just price here once you make it public, just the same way I just showed you in my test tab over there. They're all the same. You can do it in the deli here, in the fossil. It doesn't matter, frag. You could just directly price all of them. You can say, okay, I have 4 of these. Let's see what 4 of them would be worth. Put out your calculator and you're good to go. And one thing I might have to point out here is that in map tiers, you can actually price all of them for a certain price if you want to. Or you can go here into a category and say this specific map here. When I right click, this comes up. This specific map here is exact price. So you can distinguish between them as well in the map tab. So per tier or per specific map. Now we're at the most important part of the video, which is basically pricing your items correctly. And there's something important to understand when pricing your item. And that is not only you are saving time, the other party buying from you is also saving time. And saving time means getting currency because they don't have to buy, for example, here, I have 46 essences. They don't have to whisper 46 people. They only have to whisper me, which might alleviate them like half an hour of trading, which means in this half hour, they could be in maps and do whatever. So there's a certain price tag connected to me giving them bulk. It's not only convenient for you, it's also convenient for your trading partner. But let's put what I just said to the test, right? So Screaming Essence of Scorn down here, I selected it, Chaos. Let's see what comes up here. 1-for-1 Chaos. Cool, right? So we can scroll down here. This doesn't seem price fixed at all. Like there is so many people here. This is not price fixed. There's 0 chance it's price fixed. So let's go here. We have 46. So should we now just price 46 for 46 Chaos? Well, a lot of people will actually do that. And that's how a lot of flippers make money. But let's actually go through how it actually looks like. So you can go minimum stock down here, and you don't have to type in exactly what you have, right? Just approximately, let's say 30 up, right? Let's see what they are charging. Whoa, that's a little bit different. So instead of 46 Chaos, now we can price it at, let's see, 46 times 4 would be 184. Okay, so we just made 4 times the money. And that is what I was talking about. People need a lot of crafting materials. So this is a situation where people will pay more because they will save a lot of time buying like 54 from this guy, 40 from this guy, 65 from this guy, and so forth and so forth. And it is very hard to understand when you're a newer player why that is, but you will get it over time. And next up, I want to actually talk about something like a ratio between what is worth it in bulk and what is actually worth less in bulk. First type of currency, or whatever you want to call it, would be stuff that you price up in bulk. So like we just did, we are going to price this for 3 to 4 times as much as the essence would be worth alone. I want to put a technicality here though. By things that you're pricing up, it very much matters how much you have. So that's why I want to approximate it here. So if you, for example, go to 10, people who have 10, we're looking at more like 3, and they might not even sell very quickly, whereas we were in the 4 region. If you're, for example, typing in 5, you will see some of them here that can actually be sniped for like 1C, some of them for 2C. So as you can see, the less that time that people save by trading with you, the less your product is worth, which also means that the more of something you have, the more you can charge for it. For example, if somebody buys 7 Screaming Essences of Scorn, to get to the 46 that we had, he would have to still trade like 7 times or something to get there, right? Whereas maybe if we price it at like 3.5C or something per, they would not have to do these 7 trades. So it's still interesting how many you have, so you should still approximate it and price it accordingly. But what are those things that you can price up other than maybe essences or something? Well, I'll give you some hints because you obviously don't want to look at all of them. One of the things is obviously crafting materials. People want to make good items. They need a lot, but sometimes you need to put like thousands of essences on an item to make a really, really good item. And I don't know, doing thousands of trades is just not possible. It's just not humanly possible. So you want them in bulk, so they will pay premium for that. Essences and fossils are the biggest factors here, but it doesn't stop there. We can also go to fragments, for example, and we can look at stuff that people enhance their maps with. which is also part of this thing. Number one thing here is scarabs. You can upprice scarabs very much. Also, if somebody does like ritual vessels can always be priced up. So yeah, just stuff like that. This can also include good map layouts like tropical islands. This can include like Mud Geyser. If you are on the pulse of what's currently in or what is meta, these also sell very well. You can upsell them. Now, nowhere near as much as the crafting currency and stuff, but it's still like a chaos or two here or there, which is very important to note. But then we also have the other side of this, which is when you have to actually price down in bulk. Which are basically things that people don't need in bulk. You have them in bulk, but nobody wants them in bulk, or only very, very little amount of people who are doing very specific things. One of these very obvious things are certain oils that are not being used as much. Now, if you imagine people who are farming blights, they get so many oils a day. It's actually crazy. Nobody can use these in any form. Like if I need an enchantment on my, or if I need an anoint on my amulet, I need 3 oils total here. So that might be like one of these. I might need one of them. I don't need 100, right? So if you see here, you can you can see this extremely fast. If the cheapest ones are the ones who have like 2,000 of something or 500 of something, you know this is basically, you have to price it down in bulk. Now, another one of these cases might be like maps, for example. Maps are a little bit more complicated because it really depends on what people are currently playing. If you have a layout like Mud Geyser, you might sell these for like 9C each because it's right now, as of this recording, meta. It might not be anymore in a week or so. It is what it is. So you might be able to sell like 20 of these for like 180C, whereas if you have something like Chateau, for example, where is it? I was just thinking about this one. Yeah, Chateau, which nobody wants. The only people who actually want this layout most of the time are the people who want to get their completion. And they only need one map if they want to do their completion. So if you're somebody who's selling like 20 in bulk or something, you have to give them a reason to buy it. And that reason can only be to give them a good deal. So for example, if you look up Chateaus and it's all of them are at like 5C, give them a good deal. Say I'll sell like 10 for 40C or whatever. So you'll have to work around with that in maps. It's a little bit more complicated. I just wanna basically put this out there because there's some things that you actually have to price down and not up. Now at the end, let's talk about something that might be very interesting for a lot of people here, and that is how to sell some of the more clunky items. So items that aren't stackable, that aren't like crafting materials, that you can't really bulk price on the website right here. Like there's no column here to actually sell them. I'll go through some of them. Now, obviously, there is ways, right? There is ways to actually bulk sell these blighted maps, but you have to like sell them individually, and then maybe they have like some enchant that might be worth it, or you have like a dozen of like elder maps, you have a dozen of shaper maps. Obviously, you can price them, but not as many people look there. So what do you do in those cases? Well, in those cases, the number one thing I can recommend to you is the Forbidden Trove Discord. Now, this is an open Discord for everybody. It has tens of thousands of users every day, and there is people pricing everything here, and people also buying everything here. I basically bulk sell most of my stuff and bulk buy most of my stuff there. And it's just, you can take a picture of this, put it in there, and say, I want to sell all of these for a price. I want to sell all of these for a price. You can look at what other people priced it at, put it in there, and off we go. And that is really important because, for example, maybe you're like a 5-way farmer and you have a lot of these here, right? So how are you going to go about selling these? Are you really going to do like 142 trades? I don't think you will. You can literally put that in there and somebody will buy it most of the time. Like there's very little things that don't get bought up. Same with blighted maps. It is extremely easy to sell blighted maps there because people don't really care about the layout. And if you had to price these, you would have to put in like, I don't know, let's say I have like 6 blighted spider forest maps. You would have to price these. Then you have to price your blighted dunes map. When in reality, nobody cares. They just want these in bulk. They don't really care about the layout. So just a lot of the clunky items you can sell over there. Even if you have a long playing session and you dropped a lot of synthesis maps, you can sell them in bulk there. So there's just a lot of ways that you can save time with the Forbidden Trove Discord. And basically how that works is you scroll down here to bulk. So for example, if you're in softcore, expedition softcore bulk, and all you do here is you go wherever you want to go, like beasts, blood-filled vessels, breachstones, catalysts, whatever you need, stacked eggs. There's everything here that your heart desires. You can also buy here. It's super easy. So I'm not affiliated with this Discord at all, but I don't actually know how I could sell all of this random stuff without that Discord, because it's just so convenient. And this is literally just a workaround for a trading system that is failing. And obviously, it's very sad that there has to be a Discord to work around this, but I can highly recommend it to you. Basically, everybody I know who has a certain amount of, like, let's say, knowledge or speed in the game uses this website. It makes the time in your game so much more, you will save so much time. It is something that you definitely should at least look into. Now, at the end of this video, I want to kind of sum this all up in one big thought that is really, really important, a big takeaway from this video. Do farming sessions. And what I mean by that is that you just saw one of these is worth 1 chaos. 46 of these is worth like 184 chaos. That is crazy. If you extrapolate that onto all the currency you have, that means that if you farm for longer and then you sell in bulk, instead of selling every day when you have, like, I don't know, 3 or 5 of them or whatever, you will make so much more currency. It's actually ridiculous. That is what I want you to take away from this video. Do farming sessions. That can be 3 days. That can be a week. I don't know how much time you have. But if you can accrue these masses, like I just did farming for 4 days, and I can sell 100 of these. I can sell 56 of these. I will make so much more currency. So this is not a secret. This is just basically something you have to know in order to ascend to the next stage of currency or whatever. And no Atlas guide can teach you this. It doesn't matter what you're farming. If you don't understand this, then you will make half the currency, less than half the currency. So I hope I could at least give you that, and I hope you enjoyed the video. But that's it for the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe. You can also follow or watch me on twitch.tv/Palsteron. I'm online 6 out of 7 times a week. We're just hanging out, playing Path of Exile, basically. You can ask me questions. You can just hang out, whatever you want. But yeah, this is something that I just wanted to put out there because this is a flawed, extremely flawed, very tedious trading system that basically is unheard of in terms of games that are established. So you kind of have to find a way around it. It doesn't seem like it's going to change anytime soon. So yeah, with that being said, since I still don't have a slogan, see you next time.